ready.
I want to ask you for your phone number.
I got a man.
I don't care about your relationship status. You haven't put a ring on it.
For an episode.
Well, with Officer Green making a flirtatious comments to Danni in the upcoming episode, the question is, will Danni agree to start dating this guy? Now, in my extended trailer breakdown, I talked about how, well, it seems to me that Danni is seemingly doing more to declare her relationship status with Tony to Officer Green to when Tony first approached Danni, and at the time she was in a relationship with Preston. Even though it had only been like a day, but still, she asked to finally declare, hey, let's be in a relationship. Green asked for her number. Oh, I have a man. Well, I don't see a ring on it, so, and I've seen some interesting discussions, and on, Instagram and the Facebook group. If you were not married now, not married, but if you were in a relationship and you caught someone's attention and they approached you and, politely asked for your number, and you said, "Oh no, I have a man, or I'm seeing someone. I don't see a ring on it." Would you consider that a red flag? I mean, personally, I would, because it seems like hey, if I don't respect the boundaries of a person in a relationship, how can I expect this person to respect my boundaries if we got into a relationship? It's kind of like something that happened, I want to say during my first year in college. I was in one of my communications classes. I think this one was more on like video filmography and whatnot. And I was in a group project. It was the only other black guy in the class. Yeah, it was us two, and it was three girls in the two girls in the class. They were white. So I remember me and him, we took our part of the project. It's like, hey man, I'll meet you in the classroom at like 8:30 tonight in the lab so we can work on the editing. His girlfriend came along, and we chatted and everything, and then I think he had went to the bathroom or something, and me and her were just talking. And the thing is, you could just notice how these two really didn't seem to get along like that, because he would always crack jokes she didn't think was funny. He was pretty much the goofball. She was the more serious one. And I remember one time I was at my dorm was having like it was like a bunch of us from the dorm were just having it was like a tailgate or something. And they walked by, and I was just like tossing the baseball to another guy, and another dude. Yeah, it was like four of us just tossing the ball around, and they had walked by, and she's like, "Oh, okay, maybe I ought to get you to help me learn how to play baseball." I'm like, "Huh, okay." Didn't think too much about it. Fast forward, she hit me up on Facebook saying that she had broken up with her boyfriend and she wanted to get to know me. And I was like, what? So we talked a couple times, but the thing was, I didn't really see anything with her, because I'm like, if you kick dude to the curb because you saw what you believe to be a better option, how do I know the same thing will happen to me? Basically, what's that saying? You lose them how you get them. So essentially for me, it's like, how do I know if we got together and you saw a better option, I wouldn't get kicked to the curb too? So when I look at Officer Green and his whole thing about not caring if Danni didn't have a ring on it, and didn't Tony whip out a ring before? What? I know he did. I can't think of when he did it though. Oh, it was after the settlement. Yeah. After Danni had won that settlement, Tony and Danni talked at the law firm for a bit, and then he popped over to her place unannounced, and he proposed. And it's like, really? You're going to propose? And then from there, off screen, they're magically back together, which is insane work. And side note, Tony, you talking about putting up your house for sale and whatnot. I hope you returned that engagement ring and got that money back. Dang. Okay, sorry about that side tangent. It didn't click with me, but I'm like, I know Preston proposed unexpectedly, and then yeah, that's when you really think about it. Yeah, Danny has been proposed to by 2 different men, which is insane work because Gary has proposed before. Look, he's proposed technically multiple times, but in terms of men, Andy has only been proposed to by Gary. Sabrina has never gotten a proposal. Bio joked about becoming one of his multiple wives, but that was a lot. That was a joke. Aaron didn't propose. It was more so, let's run downtown and get married right now. So technically that's 1. Fatima, of course, Zach proposed to her. So yeah, Danny of all people is leading the charge in proposals. That is insane. I never thought about that. But yeah, I think when it comes down to Officer Green, I'm wondering how this could occur in such a way where Danny doesn't look bad. Because, and I want to reiterate this point that I made in the episode review pertaining to Tony's decision. Tony is a grown man who decided to quit his job. But let's not act like Danny was not a big part in why he did what he did. Hey, Danny, I have to go to Alaska for like a year and then come back in order to, kind of regain my position, or I quit. And then she's like, I'm not doing long distance. I'm not moving to Alaska. I'm not even going to visit you in Alaska. So if you leave, then that's it. And then they had sex, and it's like, you have a day to figure things out, or we're done. And then he decided to quit. And all of a sudden, she's like, oh. Basically, she hit him with a, you won't. And then he did. And now she's looking stupid. So now, if she decides to kick Tony to the curb and get with Officer Green, I think she's going to look horrible. My opinion will be she's an awful person for doing that because, well, she's pulled an Andy, she ruined a man's life, and now she's moved on to the next one. The difference is being that the writers are just taking it too far with making Tony look like the less desirable choice in favor of, yeah, Danny gets to Officer Green. And let's be real. Based off of Danny's antics and whatnot, could you really see her dating a cop? Could you? I'm just saying. Because with Tony, you had him be VP. And it's like, oh no, how dare he want better for Danny by putting her in this leadership program. And then that led to the whole coffee incident. And then she got fired. And then people blame Tony when I'm like, it was Danny's fault. And then she wins this huge settlement. And then they get back together for some unknown reason. Then he quits his job. And after that, he becomes a couch potato, mooching off of Danny, and now wants to live with her. And he's, betting on these sporting apps, and then he's probably going to lose the money. And how's that going to impact the $75,000? Will he take it from Danny, or I don't know. It's like, and what, in this upcoming episode, he's going to be like, yeah, the sex wasn't really what it used to be. And I'm like, wow, they are really making this dude the obvious kick him to the curb so she can get with Officer Green. From an acting standpoint, yo, Tony, get that money. But from a character standpoint, the way they are assassinating his character just to make it not look so bad when Danny is done with him, that's not going to do it for me. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you think Danny and Green will eventually start dating? What will this mean for Tony? Will Danny kick him to the curb? If she does, do you think this will make Danny look bad, or will you say, oh no, Tony's a bum?